Fouls it out of play to the right side. 300 to the alleys, about 320 to dead center, and about 290 more than likely on the lines. And I'm just guesstimating.
Like to mention, we got Coach Bots Myers down there on third base.
Yep.
Bots has played up until this year, and he's coaching. And for Bob's Gun and Tackle, I think we had Barry Jewell coaching for them, another former player.
Right.
Not playing this year.
Count is a ball and 2 strikes to the batter, Marvin Witcher. Larry Branham waits on deck. Pitch is grounded to the right side. Jordani Houchins at second, on to first, and that's one away. Well, we're going to flip-flop the batting order from what we were given.
I think they just going to leave it like it would, just mark Joe out and just move down one, and even though he's playing in the field.
All right. Well,
he was a sub, but he's in the batting order too. So.
This will be a muddy card. I'm glad I got you to help me out here on this.
Just any way they want to do it.
There you go. They were just having fun anyway.
I believe we got Billy Houchins up.
Yep. Pitch is a ball from Napier. Next pitch is ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Next one on the way. Swing and a foul at the plate. Now, George Wells is a brave man. He's out there with no mask, no chest protector, no nothing. I wouldn't be back there without little protection.
Well, he's got good reactions, I guess.
I guess so. That's all I can say about it. 2 balls and a strike to count. Here's the pitch on the way. Swinging and a liner. Shortstop Happney makes a nice play. 2 down.
That was. Moved right on it, and that was a pretty good shot. But tell you what, Carl hit to Kaywood Alexander. We got Ronnie Nadale stepping up.
Yep.
I believe, as I recall, I've done the last several of these games. It's first time Ronnie's played.
And he takes the first pitch from Carl Napier in for a called strike.
Well, I thought that hit the plate.
Did it?
Yeah, well, he called it a strike, though.
Swing and a miss on the next one, and the count is 0-2.
Well, Carl may come with a change right here.
Yeah.
He's got him 0-2. We'll see what
throw a little screwball at him or something there. Yeah.
See what he comes with.
All right, here's the 0-2 pitch. Swing and a fly ball in the left center. Bobby Duvall backs up, makes the catch. That's a 1-2-3 inning for Gross Oil. Nothing across. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Gross Oil leads Bob Gun and Tackle 4-0. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports.
Will be asked to
4-0 in favor of Bob's Gun and Tackle. Phil Rogers will lead off the inning. Left-hand batter. And the first pitch from Mike Smith is taken inside for ball 1.
Yeah, they're in the first inning. I tell you, Bob's Gun and Tackle sent several batters to the plate.
Pitch is inside. 2 balls and no strikes. We've turned out to have a very nice evening here, and folks are still making their way to the ballpark. 2-0 pitch is outside. 3 balls and no strikes.
There's a nice little breeze, and not all that warm for the players tonight.
Nope, very comfortable evening all the way around. 3 balls, no strikes to count. Pitch by Smith to Rogers is a strike called. 3-1. 3 balls and a strike. The pitch. That's strike 2, and it's 3-2.
Well, he fell behind 3-0, but come back and put 2 across.
Yep, good pitches on both occasions. 3-2 pitch is a high pop-up in the right center. Long run for Kaywood, and he won't get it. That'll be in there for a hit. Rogers trying to stretch it into a double, and he does. Brother Larry just couldn't quite get to that one.
Well, he started after it, and then he decided he wasn't going to get there, so there's no need to hurt yourself trying to. So this is a game for fun, and
exactly.
Nobody wants an injury.
Donnie Owens to the plate now. Principal of the Eastern Elementary School. Good to have him back in our part of the country.
A former Temple Hill player.
Yes, sir. Former coach at Glasgow High, basketball. Pitches a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Next pitch, a swing and a miss, and the count evens at 1-1.
Yeah, pretty good cut at that one.
Yeah, he did. He still looks like he could shoot a few jump shots. 1-1 pitch, a ground ball to short, fielded by Landrum. Across the diamond he goes, and Owens beats it out for an infield hit.
Tell you what, he scooted down that first base line. It was hit deep in the hole, but, Bobby fielded it pretty cleanly and got it across there, and Donnie just beat that one out. So first two batters are on. Got a double and a single and two on with nobody out. And Dennis Cawthorn of Metcalfe County and played here in the City League for several years.
Cawthorn, a left-hand batter, also fouls the first pitch, strike one.
Jimmy Farrell catching, one of the organizers of this.
Yes, sir.
Back years ago, he and Randall and Larry, they got together and decided this would be a good time to have and get together, a sort of reunion of former players, and got this all organized.
And it was the old-timers game in those days. Pitches swung on and missed. It's 1-2. And, of course, since then, it's become the Randall Cook Memorial Classic. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cawthorn. Swinging a foul back, and it stays at 1-2.
And we're not playing ASA rules where they're not going to foul out on the third
right.
strike. So
everybody's going to have fun tonight, which is what it's all about. 1-2 pitch, here it is. Cawthorn swings and lifts a pop-up. Second baseman Nadell has it, and that is out number 1.
And the runners K advance, so Rogers and Owens stay where they were. And here's the coach, the manager, I guess you would say, for Bob's Gun and Tackle, Danny Houchins.
Yep. Played for him number of years ago when they had the old New Farmers Bank softball team.
New Farmers Bank.
We used to get all the San Francisco Giant-looking stuff. Of course, orange and black are their colors. Pitches a ball. But I believe Johnny Vance had something to do with that. He was always wanting to be color coordinated. Here's a 1-0. Strike called. 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Here's the pitch. And that's a strike called, and the count is 1-2.
And we're unfortunately unable to have the women's game this year. Not enough response. Maybe they can get that going again next year.
Pitch is on the plate. It's 2-2. That's why we started the men's game here at 7. And then after a little shower, good thing we did kind of. It didn't rain here per se, but in other parts of town it did. 2-2 pitch on the way. Swinging. Liner off the glove of the shortstop into left center field for a hit. Ducks will be on the pond. The bases are loaded.
Thought Landrum was going to get to that one, but just off the edge of his glove. So
yep.
That's going to bring up, well, I'm not sure Richard Knuckles is here tonight. No, so we're back to the top of the order.
Danny Simmons had a double his first time up.
On a well-hit ball,
here.
too.
Yep.
So.
That was the one that sent Rutledge out of the game with a pulled muscle.
You notice Danny bats cross-handed.
There are a lot of us cross-handers out there. Ground ball off the glove of the second baseman, Nadell, in the right center for a hit. 1 run will score. Here comes Owens around third to score. Make it 6-0 now in favor of Bob's Gun and Tackle. As they put 2 on the board here in the inning. An RBI single for Simmons.
We've got a timeout. Barry Jewell, I don't think, is happy with manager Houchins there. He's mad because he didn't come to third base. He's pointing to him. He should have been on third right there. And maybe he'll get him straightened out.
He said, what are you doing staying there, boy? You need to come on to third. Here's Alan Hapney. Had a triple to dead center his last time up.
And I think Billy Houchins realized that, and he's backed up.
Well, he and Larry Alexander have both kind of backed up out there in the outfield just in case. Hapney takes a ball.
Probably drop one off in front of him.
Yeah, exactly. Hit a little bleeder out there. 1-0 pitch is a ball inside. 2 balls in, no strikes. 6-0. Bob's Gun and Tackle leads it here in the bottom of the second. Pitch is a strike, and the count is 1-2.
Tell you, Jimmy Farrell's playing one of the hardest positions out there. They're getting up and down, catching. he'll be tired or sore in the morning.
Don't have those knee savers like those high school kids wear. You know, they got those knee saver pads. He's not even wearing those.
I'd have just played standing up.
Yeah, I probably would have too. 2-1 pitch. Ball 3, 3-1.
That one was a little deep.
Yep. 3 balls and a strike. And the pitch. Little curve hit there, and that goes into left field for a hit. Houchins will stop at third. Bases are loaded once again. So, Ducks are still out there on the pond for Bob's Gun and Tackle. And here's Johnny Vance, who hit a screamer back to the mound, in which Mike Smith made a nice play on in the last inning.
Yeah, if he doesn't catch that one, it's through probably to the fence as hard as it was hit.
Yes, sir. 1 out in the inning, bases loaded. 6-0 our score. And the pitch is a ball. JV wearing that Pirates hat with the red bill. Of course, they wear that red-billed hat occasionally in Pittsburgh these days. Bouncer to second. Nadil will go to first. That's the only play he's got. Whoa, the first baseman, Witcher, almost didn't touch the bag. And Vance is retired as Houchins comes home to score to make it 7-0. Simmons at third, Hapney at second. 4-3 on the put-out of Vance for the second out of the inning, and he'll also get credit for an RBI.
Yeah, fielder's choice right there. Hit very hard, but nice play by Ronnie Nadale right there.
Yep.
I'd like to say, didn't know whether Marvin Witcher was going to find the base or not.
He was stretching out looking for the base. Oh, wait a minute, that's not the base. Back up a step. Here's Carl Napier, and he drills the first pitch into right field, and this ball is going to be a foul ball, not by much.
I thought Branham was going to get there for a minute, and it stayed foul, so Carl will swing again.
He'll take another try at it. 7-0 our score in the bottom of the second inning. Bob's gun and tackle leading. We're at Paul Kingery Field at the Beaver Trail Oshel-Tuck Softball Complex.
Now Paul's back working with the recreation department again.
Yep. Pitch is a ball, 1-1. Program coordinator these days. 1-1 pitch, and here it is. Swing and a foul at the plate, and it's 1-2.
Well, that ball had a lot of arch on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was a tough one to hit.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, there's Carl's son, Matthew, down there giving him a hard time.
Yeah. Somebody has to, I guess. 1-2 to the plate. Napier lines it in the right center. That's a hit. Branham will field it. 1 run will score, and it's now an 8-0 ball game. Simmons comes home to score from third. Hapney moves to third, and Napier with an RBI single. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game with a couple driven in.
Got him 2 RBIs. Second base is open. Oh, they're trying to shift around for Duval now. They want him to move around. He hit in the gap last time, so.
Looks like they got the gaps pretty well covered. Duval had a single to left and scored a run in the first. And he hits the first pitch, a little flare in the center that's going to fall for a hit. Run will score. Napier digging hard for third. Duval in the second with a double. It's 9-0. Napier moves to third on the play, and Duval with an RBI with a little bloop double to center.
Well, they were playing him deep. He hit it hard last time, and like we talked about, he just dropped one right in on the grass right behind the dirt. And was able to get a double out of it.
Here's Jackman, the first baseman. 1 bouncer off the glove of the third baseman, fielded by the shortstop. Throw to first in time for the out, and that will end the inning.
That's a 5-6-3 put out, isn't it?
Oh, that sure is, and a fine play worthy of a red star, and that will end the inning for Bob's gun and tackle. In the inning, they picked up 5 runs on 7 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left. After 2, 9-0, Bob's gun and tackle leads Gross Oil. And you're listening to Light 102.3 FM. Back in 60 seconds.
678-9888 for Paul's Lawn and Turf.
We go to the third inning. It's 9-0. Gross Oil leads here over, or I should say Bob's gun and tackle leads it over Gross Oil. Now, see, I done got my score sheet all messed up. But that's okay.
And we've had some listeners join us now on the AM dial, WCLU 1490.
Yep.
Had some technical problems, but now we're on both. So
we're on both stations tonight, 1490 WCLU and Light 102.3 FM. And Butch Cassidy will start it off.
We're also on Cablevision Channel 6, the electric plant board.
Don't want to forget those folks. Absolutely. First pitch to Cassidy taken for a ball.
We were just talking there, Todd. I think that's... well, we've had 7 batters. This is the number 8 batter for Gross Oil. And heck, Bob's gun and tackle's already scored 9 runs.
Kind of unusual. Well, you handicapped the game this way. Pitches swung on and missed, and the count is a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, I think Bob's gun and tackle got angry from last year's game, and so they're seeking revenge.
Here's a pitch popped up on the infield. Hapney, the shortstop, will take it, and that's out number 1. And here comes the councilman. Jimmy Farrell to the plate.
Jimmy Farrell can scoot down those bases, so they better be careful. If he gets one on the ground, he may beat it out there. And then, of course, our old sidekick, Larry Alexander, the only base hit so far for Gross Oil.
Yep, single back in the first inning. Here's Farrell, left-hand batter, and he takes a strike call on the inside corner. It's 0-1. One strike pitch, swing and a liner. Nice play. Second baseman Houchins with the snare, and that's quickly 2 up and 2 down.
Well, good aluminum on that one, but Houchins had him played just right. So 2 outs, 2 up and 2 down.
Les Settles the batter now.
I thought Les had retired.
Guess not.
Former clerk administrator for the city of Glasgow.
Yes, sir. Takes a strike. I see him out swinging a golf ball every now and then. 1 strike and nothing. Pitch is swung on, a roller to third. Johnny Vance has it for Bob's over to first, inning over. And that's another 1-2-3 inning for Gross Oil in the third, nothing across. We move to the bottom of the third. It's Bob's Gun and Tackle 9, Gross Oil nothing. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports.
Shelter Insurance Agent Brad wants to sell a car and make a friend.
Go up there, you'll find Berlin with that white cowboy hat on.
That's how Henry knows who he is. He said he can identify him with that hat.
Yes, sir. He came the other day to his commercial, had him got his white cowboy hat and his Hawaiian shirt on. He was looking pretty cool.
I bet he did.
Jim Marion scheduled the lead off, the last of the third for Bob's Gun and Tackle, who lead this game 9-0. We're at the Randall Cook Memorial Classic out at the Beaver Trail Oshotuck Softball Complex on Highway 90 West. Come out and join us if you got nothing better to do.
Jim grounded out to Bobby Landrum his first at bat, looking for his first hit.
Got that big Cincinnati Reds hat on. Reds are going to be without Junior Griffey, looks like, for the rest of the year again.
Yeah, I tell you what, he just got to where it seemed like he got in his swing back. Had 5 home runs in 5 games and comes back the first game after the All-Star break and gets hurt. Had a double and pulled up lame.
Yep, on the way to second base. In that game against the Astros last night. First pitch to Marion's a little deep from Mike Smith, ball 1. Smith didn't think so. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's a pitch, swing, and a high pop third base side. Cassidy will give it a look, and he'll run out of real estate.
Yeah, couldn't get to it.
1-1 to count. Tell you what, he showed some good movement there trying to run that one down.
Yes, he did. He got over it pretty quick.
1 ball and 1 strike to count.
Well, Houchins has moved in there in short field on Marion. He's daring him to hit one over his head.
Yep. Here's a 1-1 grounder by the mound. It glances off the glove of the pitcher out into right center.
Well, so Marion's on for his first time tonight.
Yep. We'll have to give that a hit.
Yeah, can't hardly charge an error to the pitcher there on one hit back to the mound that hard. So we'll score that a hit.
We probably will be generous scorekeepers tonight.
Of course. That's the 13th hit, though, here for Bob's Gun and Tackle. Only 1 so far for Gross Oil.
Here's the goose.
Dr. Jerry Ralston.
Yes, sir.
Superintendent of Barron County Schools.
Pitch is outside, ball 1. They will have a new football coach, Bob Blair, the athletic director, taking over those duties for this season anyway. Swinging a ball to right center. Falls in front of Kaywood Alexander for a base hit. Jim Marion going to make the turn at second. He'll be in at third, so first and third for Bob's Gun and Tackle and nobody out.
Well, that's 2 of the Gun and Tackle boys that hadn't had a hit, and they've both started off here in the 3rd inning with hits. So
Phil Rogers will come to the plate, or he is looking for his bat. He didn't have a bat, so he's got to go back to dugout and get him a bat. Or maybe he didn't have the bat he wanted.
Well, they took it over to the other dugout, I guess.
They're trying to confiscate it. They wouldn't be checking it for cork or anything, would they?
You may have that thing loaded. We used to load those those aluminum bats. You could put tennis balls down in them. They had those tops.
Now wait a minute.
Yes,
Whoa.
Sir.
Really?
Yes, sir. Hey, I've seen them they stuff in balls.
Now, we used to take pitches of strike. We were kids. We used to take wiffle ball bats, load them up with newspaper, really stick them down in there and play tennis ball with them, man. You could really hit the ball. Here's a ball to left center. That's over everybody's head. That's up the gap and against the wall. Here comes a run to score. Ralston will jog into third. Whoop, Phil Rogers, you better turn around and get back to second base. 1 run scores, and it's now a 10-0 game. Ralston stops at third on the double by Phil Rogers.
That's back-to-back doubles by Rogers.
Yep.
I noticed he had a shirt on down there about Masters, though, so I imagine he's still playing quite a bit of softball, it looks like.
Here's Donnie Owens to the plate, a wave and a miss on the first, strike 1.
Donnie had an infield hit his last at bat. It went deep to shortstop there to Bobby Landrum, and the throw not in time.
10-0 our score in favor of Bob's Gun and Tackle. Pitch is a ball outside. 1-1 the count. Here's a 1-1. Swinging, ground ball to the left side. Landrum's going to get another shot at him. Throw to first. Dropped by the first baseman this time. And Owens safe again.
I believe he would have had him if he'd have held on to it, but just maybe a little low, and Marvin Witcher unable to hold on to it. So Owens, as you said, well, he's not going to go back to the base. He thought he was out.
He thought he was out. George Wells said, nope, you're safe. Hang in there on the base.
Oh, I thought maybe Farrell was going to protest.
Nope. Here's Dennis Cawthorn, popped out his first time. 10-0, Bob's Gun and Tackle, bottom of the third inning. Pitch is deep for a ball.
Tell you, Gross Oil's giving about all the damage they can now.
Here's a pitch, swinging liner into short center. That's going to fall for a hit. 1 run will score, and the bases remain loaded. It's 11-0 as Jerry Ralston comes home to score. Phil Rogers will stop at third. Owens at second.
Tell you what, nice play there by Earl Kilburn. You know, he got that ball back in pretty quick and just about forced Donnie O there at second base.
Sure did. Here's Danny Houchins, had a single and scored a run his last time up.
I believe he hit one just out of the reach of Bobby Landrum and
did it again. Base hit to left field, run scores, 12-0. Owens stops at third on the play. Rogers comes home to score.
Well, we've got no outs, and we're back to the top of the lineup. And Danny Simmons looking for his third hit.
He's 2 for 2, a double and scored in the first, a single with a pair of runs driven in the second inning of play. Pitch is a little roller toward third. They got a force play at the plate. They get an out there, and that's all they'll get on the fielder's choice. Fielder's choice for Simmons. Owens out at the plate 5-2 for the first out of the inning.
Well, Butch Cassidy fielded that in pretty quick. Jimmy Farrell there, our councilman, he had to think there for a minute. He almost didn't cover the plate, but he got there on the old dish, and Cassidy makes the throw for the out.
Here's Alan Hapney, tripled and scored in the first, drove home a run, singled and scored in the last inning. 12-0, Gross Oil leading in the bottom of the third. Bases are loaded. Pitch is deep for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's a pitch, swinging liner, good play. Cassidy takes the hit away from Hapney, 2 down.
I tell you, 2 pretty nice plays there by Butch Cassidy on third base.
And here's Johnny Vance, who is 0 for 2, but he did drive home a run with the ground ball out in the last inning.
Yeah, it's hit the ball pretty hard both times.
And here's the first pitch. Swing and a ground ball left side, base hit. 1 run will score. 13-0, and the bases remain loaded.
Yeah, he hit that one to the opposite field, and I guess Cawthorn crosses the plate, and everybody else moves up 1. So.
Yep. Simmons will move up a base, and Vance with the RBI single to make it 13-0.
He's got 2 RBIs, and Carl Napier will step in 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs.
Yep, pair of singles, scored a run back in the first. Takes the first pitch, deep for ball 1. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the next one on the way. That's taken for a strike. Count evens 1-1.
Well, Todd, we're looking at the 18th of July, and less than a month we'll be doing footballs.
Hard to believe, isn't it?
It gets around, but I tell you, probably football is my favorite sport to do. It's
T.J. Sampson Bowl coming up on August the 23rd. Many teams will open up August 22nd.
Yeah, I see that they changed the name of the Greenview Bowl there at Bowling Green High.
Rafferty's Bowl it will be this year. Bowling Green High, Warren Central will play. Pulaski Southwestern and Central Hardin will provide the opposition for the next 2 years.
Yeah, that's a good idea where you get the 2-year contract. You know, you get locked in like that.
Ground ball to second, Nate Hill to first, inning over. And that will do it in the third for Bob's Gun and Tackle. But they score some more in the inning, Bruce. They put 5 on the board in this inning. I think I've got my math right here.
I believe I've got them with 4.
Okay, well,
4 runs and 6 hits.
All right, 4 runs, 6 hits, no errors, and a couple of men left. They've stranded 5. We'll go to the Fourth inning of play, 13-0. Bob's Gun and Tackle leads it. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. After 3 innings of play, Bob's Gun and Tackle leads it here over Gross Oil, 13-0. Gross Oil will bat here in the fourth.
This is the second annual Randall Cook Memorial Classic, formerly the Old Timers game, but in honor of our good friend and colleague Randall Cook.
First pitch from Carl Napier is a ball to, we got batting Gene Rogers.
Gene Rogers.
Here's the strike one pitch, rather, and that's a ball, 1-1.
And we will mention proceeds or any donations you'd like to make in this game. They do go for a scholarship fund, and it's given to a Berrien County or Glasgow student. I think there were 9 applicants this year, 6 from Glasgow and 3 from Berrien County. And Mr. Jimmy Davenport was the recipient this year. Will be going on to college next year, going to Yale.
Yale, that's right, yeah. So. Very, very bright young man, too.
Well,
2-2 pitch popped up on the infield. Happney's going to let it bounce in front of him. They're going to give Gene Rogers a chance to run the first, and they throw him out anyway, 1 away. And let's see. Got Gary Davidson coming to the plate now.
Yeah, Gary Davidson also, he's a former teammate of Donnie Owens there at Temple Hill, I believe.
Old Temple Hill Bulldogs.
Another left-handy steps in.
You know, it's so different now than it was in the old days. Bud Tyler and I used to talk about this, how back in the old days you had all these different schools and district tournaments and stuff, and now it's all consolidated and that sort of thing.
Well, we just almost have just about as many schools in the region as we used to have almost in a district, it seemed like.
Yeah. 2 balls, or 2 strikes and nothing, rather. Pitch in the dirt, 1 and 2.
Well, it was an exciting time. Of course, transportation's not what it is now and stuff, and you went to more of in your locale there. And
pitches popped up in the right. Long run for the right fielder, Owens. He can't make the play. Runner is in the second base.
Right in front of him, so the second hit, I believe we'll score that a hit because it did hit in front of him, and Davidson with a double, and that's the first player to reach second base for Gross Oil.
And the first hit since Larry Alexander's single in the first inning. Well, here's Larry Branham to the plate now.
Larry Branham, and he's a former Austin Tracy, and he played basketball. And
Austin Tracy Eagles they were in those days.
Got back-to-back hits.
The left center, Bobby Duvall up with it. Runner will go to third. And first and third now for Gross Oil as they're finally starting to come alive with the bats, and we're back to the top of the order, and Earl Kilburn is the hitter.
See if Earl can pick up the first RBI for Gross Oil here tonight. We've talked about that a time or two. Like I say, we had Allen County and Scottsville, Park City, Temple Hill, Austin Tracy, and Highsville, Glasgow, Bunch
School, popped up on the infield. It'll go foul, strike 1. 1 strike and nothing. Carl Napier pitching for Bob's Gun and Tackle. They lead it 13-0 as we play here in the top of the 4th inning.
Of course, the county schools in Caverna had an 8-man football league they used to play back in those days.
Here's a pitch, a liner to the opposite field, and that's a base hit. Gross Oil on the board as Davidson comes home to score the first run of the game.
Branham will move on to second base, and Bobby Landrum will step in.
He grounded out his first time, 0 for 1.
Bobby, a member of the 1968 state championship team at Glasgow High School.
Coach Jim Richards. Ground ball off the glove of the pitcher, kicks out in the left center field for a hit. And Kilburn makes a turn and just does get back to second. He took a little stumble going back into the bag, and they're having some fun out there with that.
What was the turn about? Because he couldn't have gone anywhere because...
well, I think he is funning with them.
Branham was still standing on third base.
Well, he thought Larry had rounded third to come home, and Larry was parked.
That's 4 hits in a row now for Gross Oil, and Larry Alexander will step in. Okay, Wood, and he had a base hit.
And he rockets one to left, and it falls in for a hit in front of Danny Simmons. It'll score a run, and it's now 13-2. Kilburn will take third on the play. Landrum moves to second. And Alexander with an RBI single. Mike Smith, who hit into a fielder's choice his first time, will stand in.
That's 2 hits for Larry.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's amazed.
He may think he's found a little fountain of youth.
He's grabbing that leg again, though.
Oh.
They don't want to mess up his golf game.
No, I don't want to mess up his golf. Here's the 1-0. Bouncer through the left side for a hit. 1 run will score. It is 13-3. Well, here comes Landon around to score behind Kilburn, and it's 13-4. So we'll put 2 men across the plate. Brother Larry will stop at second. Mike Smith will get a single and drive in 2. Here's Marvin Witcher.
Pick up 2 RBIs, and I tell you, Marvin Witcher can draw him pretty close here if he puts one out.
He's swinging for the downs, but instead hits one back up the middle, and that's a base hit to center. Alexander around third. He will score. Stopping at third is Smith, and it's now 13-5. I think they try and make this game a little competitive now.
Well, I tell you, after getting Gene Rogers on the ground out to shortstop, they've strung some hits together here. That had a double, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 singles in a row, and that'll bring up Billy Houchins. I believe Coach Botts Myers is the one. He's supplied some inspiration right there, and he's got them going now.
All right, Houchins to the plate, and the first pitch to him is taken for a ball, 1-0. 1-0 to the plate, fly ball, popped up, and Hackney will haul it in. Second out of the inning, and here's Ronnie Nadell.
Ronnie hit a line drive to right center, was it? Or
right. And the first pitch to him is a little deep ball 1.
Played some softball with Ronnie. He played some on Farmers Bank with Danny Houchins, and we played some church ball together.
Yep. Speaking of which, there's a young ladies softball team from here in Barron County getting ready to go to Chicago. I believe it's next week or week after. Here's a pitch drilled in the air to left. Long run for Simmons in the foul ground. And he makes the catch to end the inning. And that'll do it in the 4th for Gross Oil. But they do get back in the game, scoring 5 times in the inning.
I believe they had 7 hits, Todd.
On 7 hits, no errors, and 2 left. Middle of the 4th, it's Bob's Gun and Tackle 13, Gross Oil 5. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. The last of the 4th, 13-5 in favor of Bob's Gun and Tackle over Gross Oil here at the Randall Cook Memorial Classic. Todd Hamilton and Bruce Tribune, we're ready when you are, George.
Well, they're trying to get their bat straight again. I believe we're going to have Bobby Duval leading it off. Is he going to try to hit for the cycle? He's had a single and a double. He'll need a triple this time or a home run. So.
The hardest hit in that cycle is a triple. I remember being in Kansas City one night about 10, 12 years ago when they were then the California Angels playing Kansas City. Dave Winfield had a single, a double, and a home run, came to his last at bat, hit a triple to dead center, and got the cycle.
It's a hard feat to do.
Yep. That was the game where I also met former Commissioner Fay Vincent. He happened to be there that night.
Well, what was in the All-Star game the other night? The Angel,
Garrett Anderson?
Garrett Anderson, did he almost hit for the cycle?
Yep. Here's Duval, liner on the first pitch to the second baseman, Nadell, 1 out.
Well,
Joe Jackman to the plate.
That may be the first time they've got the leadoff batter, so maybe a good start. Gross Oil.
Matter of fact, it is.
They may be on their way back in this ball game. Scored 5 there in the top, and they get a 3-up, 3-down inning here and get back into the plate. They may make a game of this.
Here's a ground ball to the mound. Jackman's not even going to run to first. He says, I'll just go back to dugout. 2 down. Quickly.
Well, Mike Smith out there on that mound, and he knew as soon as he caught it that he didn't have a prayer.
So tip your cap, go to the dugout. Later, Gator. Here's Jim Marion, had a single his last time up, has also grounded out.
Scored a run.
First pitch to him from Smith. Ground ball to the right side. This will be the first time that Bob's Gun and Tackle has gone down 1, 2, 3 as they go down in order here in the 4th inning. Nothing across for Bob's Gun and Tackle. We'll move to the 5th, and after 4, Bob's Gun and Tackle 13, Gross Oil 5. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports.
Where they just want to sell a car and make a friend.
We go to the fifth inning. Butch Cassidy, Jimmy Farrell, and Les Settle, the scheduled hitters for Gross Oil. Fouled off the first pitch, strike one.
We were talking, and of course we had the 1-2-3 inning about the girls' all-star team from Barron County, the fast pitch team going up into Chicago. You know, they were runners-up in the Kentucky State Babe Ruth tournament over the weekend and on their way to Chicago.
Fly ball to left field. Cassidy retired for the first out of the inning. And we got a couple of locals playing golf next week at the U.S. Girls Junior Amateur. Whitney Wade and Taryn Durham. They'll start play on Monday. Yeah,
NBC here this past week to do a feature on them. Quite an honor for the city of Glasgow.
And that'll air next weekend. Taryn Durham, as a matter of fact, the first 2 days is playing with Aries Song. So that's a pretty good honor for her.
Well, Glasgow's been very fortunate. They've had some mighty good golfers come through in high school, not only on the girls' side, but the boys' side. And Barron County, you know, some good boys' teams in the last few years. But, you know, the Lady Scotties, you know, put four together there.
Pretty tough combo to beat. Jimmy Farrell takes a strike from Carl Napier, the count 2-1. Here's a 2-1 pitch. That's strike two, 2-2.
Gross Oil needing some base runners. You know, they started off the last inning with an out and then strung out, I think, 7 hits in a row. And
ground ball to second. Houchins had it, dropped it.
I believe we have our first error of the ball.
That will be an E.
We'll mark down an E4 on Mr. Danny Houchins.
Yes, sir. We'll put that E right there by him. First error of the game for either team.
I think Farrell's speed's what had him. He looked up to see how fast he was from that left side. He was blazing down the line, see how much time he had. It took his eye off the ball.
Les Settles had a ground out his first time. To the third baseman, he'll ground to Vance again. This time they'll try to turn 2. 5, 4, throw low, and the runner at first is safe. They get the force out at second for the second out, and Settles reaches on a fielder's choice.
Tell you what, it's got to be just right to get a double play with those 60-foot bases and slow pitch softball. And they were close to turning one there, but...
You know, I had a chance last year when I was living in Louisiana to cover Louisiana Lafayette women's softball. I tell you what, they can turn a double play quick. Gene Rogers is swinging a miss 0-1.
Fast pitch?
Yes, sir.
Well, I guess you did a few Lady Patriot ball games this year.
Right.
They've turned a few. I know the Lady Scotties got a couple this year. I really enjoy watching those women play fast pitch softball.
It is a lot of fun.
It's an exciting game to me. Some people, they don't care for it as much because there's not as much offense, but I tell you, it puts a skill level up there just a notch.
0-2 the count to Rogers. He'll take a pitch in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But you're right. They do play a good game. 1-2, grounded to third. Vance will have another try at it. JV to first. Inning over. Rogers is retired for the third out. No runs, no hits, an error, and a man left for Gross Oil. We go to the middle of the fifth with the score. Bob's Gun and Tackle 13, Gross Oil 5. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. 13-5 game. Bob's Gun and Tackle leading it here over Gross Oil at the Randall Cook Memorial Classic. Jerry Ralston, the Barron County School Superintendent, 1 for 2. Standing in from the left-hand side. And the first pitch is taken for a strike, and it's 0-1. Nice night we have here for a ball game. We've had a great crowd come out to watch. Here's a strike one pitch, a little inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. As you listen to WCOU Glasgow, WCOU FM Mumfordville, Glasgow. Here's a 1-1, 2 bouncer to second, Nadale to first, that's 1 out.
Well, they had the shift on, didn't they?
Sure did. Nice play turned in there for the first out of the inning. And the hitter now will be Phil Rogers, who's 2 for 2. 13-5 the score, as Rogers will step to the plate.
I would like to announce that anyone that's listening, if you'd like to make a donation to the Randall L. Cook Memorial Softball, you can mail that in to Hilliard Lyons.
Okay.
They're in charge of that. They invested for the scholarship. And but you do need to denote, if you mail in a check, that it is for the Randall L. Cook
Right.
Memorial Scholarship.
1 ball, no strikes to Rogers. Here's the pitch on the way, swinging, and a fly ball in a right center. It'll be caught out there. Nice play.
I believe is that Gary Davidson, I believe?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, they've moved Brother Kaywood over to right field totally.
But they've put the shift on and got just 3 outfielders now.
3 outfielders and 5 infielders, yes, sir.
So
they brought 1 guy in. Kilburn's still out there in the outfield.
They got Branham playing a rover there. They got 2 second basemen. So many left-hand batters, I guess, on this ball club. They're trying to take that left hand away from them there.
Donnie Owens up to the plate now. Takes a strike 0-1. 13-5. Bob's gun and tackle lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Pitch is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was trying to get my breath back. I'd ran down the steps and run back up here during that 1 minute timeout to try to.
So you try to be like those guys, aren't you?
Yeah.
Owens back to the mound to Witcher at first from Smith, inning over 1-2-3. We'll go to the 6th after 5. 13-5. Bob's gun and tackle leads Gross Oil. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. And the score, 13-5 in favor of Bob's gun and tackle over Gross Oil. Gross Oil batting here in the 6th, and a little roller. Napier will field, made a nice play, and out at first base on the play is Gary Davidson.
That was a quick one. That was a bang-bang play there at first.
Yes, it was.
Gary Davidson gets down that line pretty well.
1 away in the inning, and here's Larry Branham to the plate.
Branham with a single scored a run his first at bat.
13-5. Bob's gun and tackle had a 13-0 lead until Gross Oil scored 5 in the 4th.
And we've had back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings for Bob's gun and tackle.
Ground ball, third. Johnny Vance made a play, got him. No, he pulled him off the bag.
And I
think that was a little fun in that.
Well, it was, but I didn't know whether Jackman, he swung at him but didn't get him, and Branham's safe there on first. But I tell you, I didn't know whether Vance was going to keep his balance or not, but made the pirouette throw, and it did draw Jackman off a little bit. And
he still shows he got some quarterback agility left in him,
He sure does.
Great quarterback Johnny Vance was at Western Kentucky back in the late 60s for Coach Jimmy Fikes, who, by the way, will be one of the 3 inducted into the Hall of Distinguished Alumni in the fall. Coach Jimmy Fikes will be.
I tell you what, he was a fun man to watch on the sidelines. I enjoyed Western Kentucky football.
Here's a liner in the center field. That's a base hit for Earl Kilborn. Ball out there. Duval up with it. He slips and falls, but runners around the third base. And Johnny Vance has to catch Larry Branham going into third. They're having a little fun now. Here's Bobby Lander to the plate.
Yeah, we're talking about we're going to play a full 7. We may run out of gas before we get there.
We won't run out of gas. They might.
They might.
Paul Kingery might have to supply a couple of oxygen masks. Base hit to center field. That'll score a run. Matter of fact, they do have them in the park. The oxygen mask, speaking of. 13-6 the score now as another run crosses the plate. And here's Kaywood Alexander to the plate.
An RBI for Bobby Landrum on the double back up the middle. Well, Kaywood's 2 for 2. He's perfect on the night. Can he get that third hit?
Did you notice when he took his practice swing there? He did his little golf swing.
Oh,
he's practicing his golf swing.
Maybe he's wanting the car to put one down there slow and he can chip up.
Yeah. Pitches are called strike 0-1. Here's the 0-1. Swing and a ground ball back to the mound. Napier looks the runner to third. He'll throw to first to get the out. 2 away in the inning. Mike Smith will be the hitter now.
Kaywood's let us down. I was hoping he'd be 3 for 3 and get him another RBI there. But
yeah, y'all have something fun to rag him about when football starts.
He's just 2 for 3 tonight.
Yep. We mentioned the football season less than a month away of starting.
Scotty's will be opening with a team that haven't played in several years.
Yep. Greene County.
Used to play them in Class A ball when they were at Greensburg, and played them in the playoffs a few years ago.
Now, I remember that. Base hit to left center field, scores a run. Here comes another run around the score. And it's a 13-8 game now as 2 runs come in for Gross Oil.
Landrum and Kilburn each score on the single by Mike Smith. He now has 4 RBIs on the night.
Marvin Witcher to the plate now.
I can remember that playoff game up at Greene County. A very cold night. Very cold.
Well, the ones I remember the most, as the pitch is popped up into center field, Duval slips out there, makes recovery, then drops the ball. And everybody's safe. Hey, mad at himself and throws his glove out there.
Oh, geez.
I started to say those games I remember the most are when we went to Fort Knox, especially when they watered the field the one year.
Well, they watered it, and that's when we had all the speed. They had it about 8 inches high anyway, and then it rained. It started raining that afternoon, and when we walked onto that field, they'd had to dig ditches to drain the water off.
I remember that game all too well. 0-1 pitch, 1 ball, 1 strike. But the best Fort Knox game I remember, 1-1 on the way, ground ball to short. Hackney will go to short route the second inning over. We'll finish the thought later. We are at 13-8 now. Bob's gun and tackle leading Gross Oil as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning there. And they got, what, a couple of runs in that inning?
They picked up 2 runs. I believe there are 4 hits, I'm sorry.
All right. We'll be back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. Thirteen to 8, our score in favor of Bob's gun and tackle. Dennis Cawthorn leading off the bottom of the 6th. A ground ball to Cassidy across the diamond to Witcher, 1 away. Batter now will be Danny Houchins. The story I started to tell was a night in 1982, and when Todd Childress kicked the field goal to beat Fort Knox, the late Bill Jones was in the press box with myself. Bill was holding one of those regional trophies I guess they'd been given. Bill's got the microphone in one hand, and all of a sudden he starts going, "It's good, it's good." I dropped the trophy on Hank's head. Everybody got a little excited that night. First pitch to Houchins is a ball inside.
Fort Knox is a real place. They try to put you at every disadvantage.
Mercy.
They've got their stands all split up where you can't sit together.
Oh, what a play by Mike Smith on the liner by Houchins. Straight back at him, and he says, "Look what I found."
He's made 2 pretty good plays out there on line drives.
That's a Red Star play, let me tell you.
We're back to the top of the order, and Danny Simmons.
Yep.
But they've got your bleachers all split up. They split you up. They do everything they can. And we went up there. You're talking about stories. Years ago, we were back in the playoffs, and Henry had called up there. I think somebody had played the week before, and he was sharing a phone line. We get up there and can't get the phone line to work, so he goes up in the school, and finally we go through a garage door, and it shuts. We don't have a key to that, and they have to call a custodian. And
I bet the legend liked that one, didn't he?
Well, we finally wind up doing the game. Jim and Larry are standing out on the little catwalk, and Randall and I are inside. It's cold that night, but they have to Marty it, and we're going to have another 1-2-3 inning.
Yep, ground ball to first. Witcher retires Simmons. 1-2-3 in the 6th goes Bob's gun and tackle. We go to the 7th. It's Bob's 13, Gross Oil 8. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. We go to the 7th. It's 13-8 in favor of Bob's gun and tackle over Gross Oil. Last call for Gross Oil here as we go to the 7th.
They're going to have to pick up 5, Todd, or this thing's over. And
yep.
I believe we got Ronnie Nadell leading it off.
That's right. And the first pitch is taken for a ball, and the count 1-0.
I thought I had Billy Houchins to bat.
Well, they've changed everything around on us. See, that's what happens. We get these messy scorecards, see. I gave up a long time ago. That's why I'm relying on you. Pitch is a strike, 2-1 the count.
He might not have wanted to bat again.
He might not have. Count goes to 2 balls and a strike. I think I may have said that a minute ago, but that's what the count is now.
Ball gets away, rolls into center field, so we've got a little break.
A little break in the action here, yeah.
But we do have a marvelous crowd here tonight.
Great crowd here, and
a lot of people have turned out, and
yep.
We'll mention again, this is a Randall Cook Memorial Softball Classic, and if you would like to make a donation and listen over the air, you can mail a check to Hilliard Lines. And there's an error.
There's an error. The ground ball was hit to short off the glove of the first baseman, Jackman. And Nadell aboard on a hit, or on an E, actually.
You do need to denote that it is for the Randall L. Cook Scholarship Fund. Butch Cassidy will step in. I tell you what, we talk about a defensive player of the game. It's probably between him and Mike Smith.
I'd have to agree with you. They both have played very well, haven't they? First pitch is taken for a strike, 0-1.
Butch looking for his first hit.
1 strike and nothing. Swing and a ground ball to the right side. Houchins will go to Happy 1. That's all they'll get. Can't turn the DP, but they get the force play. The first out. And here now is Gary Davidson to the plate. And then with a Western Kentucky hat on.
Now, and we were talking about Gross Oil winning, where we're going to have a pinch runner here for Gene Rogers. Or Kilburn better not run, because he's the third batter. If they get another batter, they need to go down to...
Mike Smith's going to run at first base. First pitch to Davidson, taken for a strike on the inside corner.
Gross Oil did win their first game last year because Gary Davidson scored the winning run.
And Davidson lines one in the right center field, and that's a base hit. 1 run will score. Settles chugging around third. He will score. It's 13-11.
Mike Smith moves on to third base for Gene Rogers, and Davidson holds up with the single, so we're within 2 with 1 out.
Yep, and Larry Branham coming to the plate.
And Branham's 2 for 2.
Right.
We may have a comeback here by Gross Oil.
They got the rally hats going over there in the dugout. Now we have time called.
That light.
Oh, is our light distracting?
Can't turn it off.
Which light?
Turn it off. It won't turn off.
What kind of light is it?
The light that our light.
Oh, it's
right
on the
here.
flag or something.
Oh,
no, it's
okay.
on the flagpole.
Oh, okay.
Okay. It's on the flagpole.
Oh, I see.
It
Okay.
shines on the
Spotlight.
flag.
Okay, yeah. I thought.
No, it's on a 9, on electric eye.
Well, they can't turn it off.
Can't turn it off. It's on a plug.
Got a towel or something, we could cover it up.
I don't even have a towel.
Oh, caught it. Oh, I guess that's right. That's one of those hot lights there. And
No, don't want to burn no towel.
So.
Just have to live with it, boys.
Leave it on. Maybe we'll get a rally here.
There you go. All right, here's Branham to the plate. And the pitch is taken for strike 1. Count 0-1. Well, Paul's going to try to put a box on it.
It may set that on fire. I don't know if he can get it down there.
Roller to third. Vance will go to second.
I believe he's there.
Did he get him? Yeah.
I believe so. He was in there, and he jammed his ankle, I believe. But
I mean, that was a seed thrown to second that time.
Well, Davidson, I tell you, got very good speed, and he gets into second base safe right there. And, well, Smith does hold up on third, though. He didn't try to score, so I guess we'll enter. That's an infield hit.
Infield hit, and the bases are loaded. And here's Earl Kilburn to the plate.
2 for 3 after flying out to right field. His first at bat. He's had back-to-back singles and scored, and he's hit it into the gap there in left field.
And hits the first pitch, pops it up into right. That's going to fall in for a hit. At least 1 will score. Here comes 2. And we got ourselves a tie ball game. 13-13 here in the 7th inning. So we will play a bottom of the 7th.
Well, I tell you, when this game started, it was 13-0 after 3, and they've come back and tied this in the last 4 innings, and you know, they have shut down. They have 9 straight outs against Bob's gun and tackle after they had sent so many batters to the plate.
Here's Landrum with a fly ball to center. It is caught by Bobby Duvall out in left center for the second out of the inning.
And Bobby just got under that one too much.
And here's Kaywood again.
Kaywood can be a hero right here.
Yes, sir.
2 for 3 on the night, scored a run, got an RBI.
You know, I saw him with that Braves hat on. I was a little surprised he didn't show up in a Braves uniform or something.
I tell you what, he's all Braves.
Yep.
He's all Braves, all Redskins, and all Celtics, and all Scotties.
There you go.
He's got his favorite teams, and UK.
And
UK is number 1 on his list.
Oh, no question. 1 strike and nothing to Brother Larry. Pitches a ball, 1-1.
I guarantee you, talk about people bleeding blue. If he cut that man open, he would bleed blue.
Now Jimmy Farrell has time. He wants to talk to George Wells. Whatever that discussion was short-lived.
Surely he wasn't complaining about the call there, was he?
I've been talking about that light again. Here's a 1-1. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Here's a 2-1 to Alexander. Swing and a fly ball down the left field line. Foul ball.
I thought Cody was going to reach out and grab that one.
Yeah, Cody got a hand up there, but he decided he didn't want to play it. He's like, get that thing away from me. 2-2 the count.
Come on, K-Wood. Need a base hit right here. Need a triple. Knock in 2.
Knock in 2. Double will knock in 2 for that matter, probably. And he sends a ground ball to third. Johnny Vance will go to second. Gets the force out. We go to the bottom of the 7th. And it is a 5-run inning for Gross Oil. They've tied this game at 13 as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Back in 60 seconds on WCOU Sports. Bob's and Gross Oil as we go to the last half of the 7th, and Alan Hapney will lead it off for Bob's Gun and Tackle.
Well, they're where they want to be, though, Todd. 2, 3, 4, so they just need 1 run. Thought we were going to have a runaway, and it's turned into a pretty exciting game.
Yep, 13 all the score. Almost like a football game with the number of runs on the board.
Found out what Jimmy Farrell was fussing about. He thought they had another run.
No, we don't have a recount like they did in the presidential election in Florida. We recounted and everything's right. Pitches the ball.
I looked down there and he had his shoes off. He'd counted all of his fingers and he was counting on his toes, and he got up. He thought he had 14 instead of 13.
1 ball and 1 strike to count to Hapney. Here's the pitch from Mike Smith. And that's a little bit deep. 2-1 the count.
Tell you, the Gross Oil was retired 9 in a row.
Hapney sends one to the right side, and that's into right center field for a base hit. Winning run is at first base, and, well, here's a guy who can send one out of the park in a hurry.
I probably shouldn't have said that, Todd, that they recorded 9 in a row, because they turn around and get a base hit.
Up.
So.
See, that's like free throw shooters in basketball. When you say they're perfect 6 for 6 and they miss the first one, you jinx them. You get blamed for jinxing them. But there are certain times you want to do that when the opposing team's at the free throw line.
Exactly. Well, they put the shift on again. They brought Branham in.
Yep. First pitch to Johnny Vance is take it inside, ball 1.
I think the only reason they did that so if they get a ground ball, they can maybe get the out at second. They don't have to run over there from so deep in the hole, see?
Vance takes it inside, 2 balls and no strikes. And the pitch. That's a strike 2-1 to JV. Here's a 2-1 to Vance. And that's slowing away, 3-1. Of course, Franklin Simpson staying in 3A in football this year. They have a new district with Allen County, LaRue County, Adair County, Breckenridge County. Pop up in the left center. Long run for Kilburn. He's not going to get it. He slips in the outfield. Hapney will make the turn and hold right there at second. Bowling Green and Logan County are also in that district.
Tell you what,
I don't want to say LaRue County's not in there. It's Adair County is who I was thinking of.
Adair. I thought if they'd put LaRue up, if they moved up to 3A and moved that district with Bowling Green and Franklin, that'd be a heck of a district, boy. Yep. LaRue plays some pretty good football. I guess they're probably still 2A.
I think so.
But now I think Bardstown, though, has gone back down to single A. They were in that 2A district for a while, and that was a pretty good rivalry between them and LaRue.
Here's Carl Napier to the plate. Pitcher can help himself out right here with a base knock.
I tell you, Kilburn's speed almost getting to that ball, though, had Hapney have to hold up there on second. So
here's the first pitch by Mike Smith. Napier sends a fly ball into right center. That ball is going to fall in for a hit. Hapney will stop at third. Larry Alexander with it back to the infield, and the bases are loaded for Bobby Duvall. With nobody out.
Well, after getting 9 in a row, 3 singles, and they've got them loaded, and all they need is just a base hit right here. Well, a fielder's choice or anything to get that one run across.
Yes, sir.
But the final score is going to be 14-13 unless he hits it out of the park, I guess.
Yep. That we do know. It'll be 14-13 because all they got to have is one. So we play here in the bottom of the 7th. They got the shift on in the infield again, of sorts. Duval sends a one-bouncer, knocked down by Larry Branham. Branham's play will be to the plate. They get a force out there, but the bases are still loaded. Joe Jackman will be the hitter now. Well, that was pretty good strategy that time.
Yeah, they're going to have to get out of the infield, aren't they?
Yep. Here's Jackman, right-hand batter, stepping in.
Jackman, I tell you, he had a base hit his first time, but has hit ground balls his last 2 at-bats. His last at-bat hit one back to Mike Smith. So I tell you, the way he hit the last one, if he gets to Smith, we could have a 1-2-3 double play.
First pitch to Jackman, here it is. Strike on the inside corner, 0-1.
Well, I believe we got Les Settle behind the plate now, don't we?
Right.
Jimmy Farrell's gone out of the game, so
he's resting.
Mr. Smith must have got a piece of dirt in his eye or something. He's got a timeout.
And a little towel out there to take care of that problem. One away in the inning, 13 all our score as we play in the bottom of the 7th here at the Randall Cook Memorial Classic.
And this one has been a classic.
Yes, it has.
It's been a very good game.
1-1 to Jackman. Taken outside, 2 balls and a strike.
Maybe Mike Smith can get a strikeout right here.
2-1 to the plate. Ground ball, and it's going to get through for a hit. Vance will score what proves to be the winning run, and the game is over, and Bob's gun and tackle beats Gross Oil. The final score, 14-13. And a great hand for all the players participating in this game tonight. And they all will enjoy and congratulate each other on a job well done. 14-13, the final score. We'll wrap it up in 2 minutes on WCLU Sports.
Have you or a loved one participated in a local event filmed by the Glasgow EPB? Maybe it was a school graduation, Little League championship, or musical performance. These are all events that have recently been professionally captured on video by the EPB to be aired on Channel 6. The EPB archives contain community, school, and church events dating back to 1990 and can be purchased by anyone. DVDs are $13 and would make a great gift for family and friends while preserving a timeless memory of a special moment in one's life. Call to place your order today.